A major star injured in the WWE Survivor Series main event. A big post-show attack takes place after Survivor Series. An AEW star suffers an injury and could be out of the Continental Classic. And an AEW favorite is now a free agent. Hello and welcome to What Culture Wrestling with myself, Andrew Pollard. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. I hope your weekend has been a good one so far. If it hasn't been, I hope it turns around ASAP for you. Me, I've been pretty much left twiddling my thumbs this weekend because my beloved Wrexham did not have a game, and my voice is very raspy. I should probably apologize about that ahead of time. But anyway, let's get into wrestling chatter and let's get into WWE Survivor Series 2024. More specifically, let's get into the Survivor Series main event. Now, that War Games main event saw the original Bloodline and CM Punk emerge victorious. All five of the team hitting their big moves on Solo Sikoa before Roman Reigns got the 1, 2, and 3. While the match itself was great, I had a lot of fun with this match. It did come at a cost for a couple of the men involved, in particular, Big Bronson Reed. Now, one of the highlights of the match, not to mention a big turning point in the match in terms of a narrative sense, was Bronson Reed climbing to the top of the War Game structure and then trying to hit the tsunami splash on Roman Reigns through a table. Now, CM Punk would pull Roman out of the way at the very last minute. This looked great. And Bronson Reed would go crashing through the table, and essentially that would take him out of the match. Now, in a story sense, this moment also had CM Punk earn Roman's trust, and the two men were then on the same page from that point on. Best buddies, bosom pals, all of that good jazz. Now, while that spot was intended to take Bronson Reed out of the action, unfortunately, Thick Boy seems to have suffered some injuries as a result, some very legitimate injuries. Now, as per Fightful Select, Bronson Reed suffered an injury to one, possibly both of his ankles when he landed from the top of the cage. Now, the big man needed help getting to the back, which yeah, it doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound good. Now, hopefully, this isn't anything too serious, but we'll obviously have to wait and see how things develop. Now, if it is any sort of notable injury, it will come at an absolutely awful time for Bronson Reed. I mean, there is never a great time to get injured, but at the moment he's in the middle of the biggest push of his career. There's all his rivalry with Seth Rollins. There was the all the fun of just the insane monster stuff with Braun Strowman. There is, of course, the fact that he's just been in the main event of one of the biggest pay-per-views, PLE, sorry, of the year. So it would be an awful time for Big Bronson to have to take some time on the sidelines. Now, of course, best wishes from myself and all of us here to Bronson Reed, all of us at What Culture Wrestling. Let's hope it's nothing too serious because that guy is just such a talented dude, such a nice fella as well. We had him on the channel a couple of years ago for an interview. Just a really nice guy. And you like to see nice guys getting their just desserts. So yeah, hopefully it's nothing too serious for Big Bronson. In other War Games injury news, though, Jimmy Uso is another left a little worse for wear after that War Games main event match. Now, like Bronson Reed, Jimmy also took to the top of the steel cage to land an Uso splash. And as revealed by Jay Uso, in the post PLE media scrum, Jimmy actually suffered a broken toe when landing that splash, which isn't great. But obviously, he was able to get out of the match on his own accord. There was no, like Bronson Reed, being helped to the back, and obviously damaged ankles sound a lot more serious than a broken toe. Now, a broken toe, I'm sure a lot of you out there will have had a broken toe at some point in time. They're not fun, man. They're absolutely not fun. But yeah, for those wondering about Jacob Fatu as well, I should probably touch on that. There was some concern that Jacob Fatu, is he injured? Oh no, what's he done? Has he done a harm to himself? Nah, man. Jacob Fatu is just an excellent seller. Now, this comes from Fightful's Corey Brennan, who notes that because there was a spot in the match where it looked like Fatu had awkwardly landed, and then he was favouring his leg a lot after that. And yeah, Fightful's Corey Brennan notes that while Fatu was not planned to sell his leg during the match, he also wasn't hurt and basically just decided to play up and do an amazing sell job because Jacob Fatu is a very good, smart, wise, professional wrestler. As for the rest of those in the match, yep, they were all said to be fine following War Games. I know some people were like, oh, did CM Punk make it out okay? Yeah, Punk was fine. Again, Punk was at the post PLE presser as well. There was Punk, there was Usos, and there was Sami Zayn. I know a lot of people made a big thing of CM Punk saying no comment when he was asked about Roman Reigns and previous problems with the company. And there were some stories I saw going around about, yeah, CM Punk walked out of the press conference. He didn't. He didn't. He said no comment. And then everybody went to leave and he grabbed some donuts and he messed around with Jey Uso. So, yeah, there was some headlines out there I saw where it's like, oh, God, has Punk stormed out? Nah, he didn't. He just had some donuts. Nice and simple. And he doesn't like a donut, man. But somebody who isn't fine in a kayfabe sense, that is Damian Priest. Now, at Survivor Series, Priest again came up short against the World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. And again, it was thanks to interference from Finn Balor. Now, the story of the match revolved around Priest injuring his shoulder, and then the ring general expertly targeting that area and wearing it down. And then following Survivor Series, Priest looked to get some semblance of revenge on Finn Balor. Now, this was released to WWE's social channels where they taped an angle, an attack angle following Survivor Series. Now, there, Damian Priest tracked down Finn Balor and attacked his former Judgment Day buddy, only for the tables to be turned on Priest as JD McDonough and Carlito joined Balor in the attack. Now, the footage ended with Balor taking a steel chair to Priest's injured shoulder. I'm trying to think, was it his right shoulder? I think it was his right shoulder. Could be his left. Anyway, one of the two. You can decide for yourself. But anyway, the footage ended with that attack with a steel chair, and then Adam Pearce was on the scene to break things up. Now, this isn't the first time that WWE has done had an attack angle take place after a PLE has gone off the air. For example, there was Kevin Owens, just what was that? A Bad Blood? Yeah, Bad Blood. Back in the summer, where he attacked Cody Rhodes early in the year by Cody's bust. Now, the difference there, of course, was WWE decided to just let fans film that and have the footage circulate on social media rather than actually shooting the footage themselves, which was the case here for Damian Priest and Finn Balor. So, Damian Priest's issues with the Judgment Day very much continue on. This is not going away anytime soon, is it? So we'll see. Can they get that through to WrestleMania for that big Priest and Balor match? It seems a long way off for me, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, in another injury story, only this time, sadly, a very real injury, unlike Damian Priest's worked injury at the pay-per-view at the PLE. AEW's Juice Robinson suffered an injury during the collision match with Will Ospreay that aired this morning, depending where you are in the world. Now, the match itself was taped on Wednesday, aired last night, and it was part of the Continental Classics Gold League with Will Ospreay getting the win. Now, watching the match this morning, there wasn't any obvious spot for me where Juice suffered the injury, although very much granted, it could well be my sleepy eyes this morning because I'd watched the Survivor Series and then gave Collision a whirl. But anyway, as per Fightful Select, Juice was seen on crutches during WrestleCade this weekend. He had his left ankle wrapped and was being helped around by his Bang Bang gang pal, Switchblade Jay White. Now, no further details are known on this injury at this time or the severity of it right now. It would be a massive blow for Juice should he be forced to pull out the Continental Classic, where he's due to face, let me get this right, I think it's Claudio Castagnoli, Brody King, Darby Allin, and Ricochet. We'll say Ricochet. Again, all the best to Juice, and hopefully this is nothing too serious, because I mean, Juice Robinson is one of the most entertaining talents in AEW. I am always here for that sort of crazy wild man energy. But then I'm also one of those who got a kick out of CJ Parker back in the day during his NXT run. And there was a spell where he had a particularly banging theme tune at one point. So yeah, hopefully it's nothing too serious for Juice Robinson. Now, sticking with AEW for today's final news story. Well, kind of sticking with AEW, for Penta El Zero Miedo is now a free agent. Yep, that is now the case. While it appears, I mean, this comes on the back of like speculation for months and months and months that Penta was going to be leaving AEW to go to WWE, and now he is a free agent. Now this again comes with Fightful Select, who just note that his deal's expired. Penta El Zero Miedo is on the free agency market. I mean, it appears incredibly likely that he will end up in WWE at some point. Fightful notes how there is also heavy interest in marquee matches for Penta on the independent scene. Now, Penta last wrestled for AEW back in July. That was where he and Ray Phoenix picked up a win over Private Party on an episode of Rampage, which sadly means barely anybody saw it because it's Rampage. I have to get that in there just because Rampage, man, it's such a dead show. In fact, it is being scrapped, of course. But anyway, because that was actually a good match because I did actually see that one. But Penta has been active elsewhere since then, though. He's worked various states in Mexico for the show for CMLL, and all through that time, speculation ran rampant on Penta and Phoenix leaving AEW to head to WWE. Now, of course, Tony Khan has received a little bit of backlash, shall we say, across this past week because Ray Phoenix's AEW contract has been extended due to time on the show with injuries, while reportedly Tony Khan has zero plans to use Phoenix during this remaining time with the company. Now, extending the talent's time and taking back time for injuries, that's one thing. That is a whole different topic on itself, and there's rights and wrongs of that. But then to do that when you've got zero intent on using that talent, it's not a great look, is it really? Yeah, not great. Either way, that means that Ray Phoenix won't be turning up in WWE anytime soon. But Penta El Zero Miedo, I mean, realistically, by all accounts, he could feasibly turn up on Raw tomorrow night if he wanted. Now, I don't think that'll be the case, but the point is, Penta is a free agent who any promotion on the planet would benefit from signing. Just what a talented fella. If it's down to me, if I'm getting the book, if I'm getting the pencil, and you going all the fancy booking route, I'm going full Lucha Underground. I want the arm-breaking, psychopathic Penta as a singles act for a bit. Then you can bring in Ray Phoenix. So he can join his brother as and when that AEW contract expires next year. But yeah, Pentagon in Lucha Underground was just different gravy, man. Just, just what a menace. What an absolute menace is the great word, the best word for it. A vicious, evil, sinister menace. Yeah, and all the stuff with Vampiro. It was a great old time. And with that, that brings today's news video to an end. I believe it's brothers Murray and Wilborn back at it tomorrow. In the meantime, continue your YouTube journey with this other excellent video that's floating around here somewhere. This has been What Culture Wrestling. I've been Andrew Pollard, and I will catch you next weekend.